Have the darker, colder days that we've been experiencing lately been taking a bit of a toll on your mental health? I know that they have been for me. Of course, taking care of our mental health is important all year long, but particularly during the fall and the winter months becomes especially important. So today, I want to share with you a handful of very simple, practical habits that I like to practice on a daily and weekly basis that I find really make a difference. Of course, as we get into this though, I want to be clear, mental well-being is incredibly personal. So these are things that I find incredibly impactful, but please evaluate them for your own life. But with that in mind, let's get into some of the tiny ways that you can boost your mental health. I want to get started with a really easy one, and that's just to take sun breaks. Especially now that many of us are getting off of work after the sun has already gone down, taking time during the day to spend time in the sun is so important. The sun is one of those natural mood boosters that helps us to feel better and can help alleviate feelings of anxiety or depression. During the winter months, most of us are just simply not spending enough time in the sun. There's a big part of that we simply can't control. There are just fewer hours of daylight for us to work with at the moment, and often around this time of year there's a lot more rain or snow depending on what area you happen to live in. But I think it's important to do at least what we can to increase our daily sun exposure. So a couple ideas for ways that you can do this during the winter months are to curl up by a window to enjoy your coffee or tea in the morning, or if the weather is nice outside, maybe even take it out to your patio. And then something I love doing is taking a midday break, usually around lunch, to just go for a short walk, spend some time outdoors. And even just 10 or 15 minutes spent soaking in the sun's rays can have such a positive impact on our mood. Then something else I like to do, especially in seasons of life where I just feel a bit more down, is to practice thankfulness. This is another one of those daily habits that can just instantly improve your mental state and well-being. Living with gratitude helps you notice the small wins and little moments that make every day special. And in a world that can often feel filled with a lot of darkness and pain, it can help you to focus on the good. So a great habit to get into is just to begin your day with trying to identify 3 things that you have to be grateful for. Of course, this can just stay as a mental practice. You don't need to write them down, but I really do love journaling and writing out those things that I'm thankful for, because it gives you a really cool way of just being able to look back over the course of the year on the literally hundreds of things that you do have to be grateful for, whether big or small. So something I've started doing in the past year is, it's called the 5-minute journal, and it's basically a journal where you just spend 5 minutes in the morning identifying 3 things that you have to be grateful for, 3 things that would make the day great, and then it also asks you just to write out a short daily affirmation. I just find it to be such a positive and enriching way to start my day. But regardless of whether you want to give journaling a try or just name 3 things that you have to be thankful for, this is a great habit to get into that can help you to focus on the brighter side of life. Then something else you can do that I feel like we don't talk about often enough is to quiet the noise. And this is one that in our digital age, I think we can all stand to benefit from. Can we just all agree that the volume of our world often feels like it's turned up to max? And we're often adding to that too by constantly having on a TV show, music, or a podcast just playing in the background. So one great practice to get into is just to embrace silence. So if you typically listen to something in the shower, on walks, or while cooking, see what it's like just to have nothing playing in the background and instead just to enjoy the stillness. While there might be a bit of a sense of discomfort as you first grow accustomed to it, what you'll discover long term is that it can really help to promote mindfulness, to help you to be present in the moment, to calm racing thoughts, and it really just overall promotes a sense of peace. So if you're someone who always has something going on in the background, try hitting pause and just see what benefits that might bring you. But then on a bit of a different note, something else that is just so vital is to talk to someone. Some problems and things that we go through are just too big and difficult to walk through on our own. So find someone you trust, whether that's a friend, a spouse, a therapist, and open up to them and share what's going through your mind or going on in your life. With life's day-to-day stresses, friends and family can be such an incredible support system, but it's also important to know too when it's time to bring in outside help. At times, that is something that we can all benefit from. I know personally that is something that has made such a difference for me, especially during difficult seasons. So don't be afraid to reach out to a therapist if you need help. If that's where you're at right now, you're walking through just a hard season, we've all been there, or there's something interfering with your happiness or overall well-being, then I cannot recommend enough speaking to a professional. So I want to thank BetterHelp for partnering with me for this portion of today's video. And guys, I could not ask for a better sponsor as we talk about this topic. Because just being honest, starting therapy can be hard. The right therapist might not be available in your area, and some people find the face-to-face interaction of therapy a bit uncomfortable. So BetterHelp really steps in to solve those problems by connecting you with a licensed therapist who's trained to give you helpful and unbiased advice. With BetterHelp, you can have your therapy sessions as a video chat, phone call, even via messaging, whatever is most comfortable for you. And BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which can give you a broader range of expertise than might be available in your local area. So to get started, just go to betterhelp.com/Ashlynne, fill out the questionnaire it takes you to. That will help to assess your specific needs, and from there, BetterHelp will match you to a therapist, and usually that takes place within 48 hours. And once you've been matched, you'll be able to schedule therapy sessions at a time that's convenient for you. And if the first therapist that you match with doesn't quite feel like a fit, which can be quite common when starting therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without worrying about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. If you think that therapy might be a good fit for you, consider BetterHelp. To get started, just click on my link in the description box below or go to betterhelp.com/Ashlynne. When you click that link, not only does it help to support my channel, but you'll also get 10% off of your first month to connect with a therapist and to see if that helps you. BetterHelp are who I go to for therapy. I love them, so be sure to check them out. But now I want to continue on with some more practical things that you can do to boost your mental health. A really simple one is just to take a walk outside. The benefits of getting outdoors and moving your body are well documented. It can help improve your mood, reduce stress, and make you feel calmer. I think we've all experienced that too, of just spending time out in nature, and there's just something about the peace and the tranquility of just being outside that just puts everything into perspective for us. So walks outside at any time of day are just hugely beneficial, but during the winter especially, I kind of alluded to this before, I love taking time over my lunch break while it's still light outside to go for a walk. And this really just enables you to enjoy the double benefits of moving your body and spending some time in the sun. This is another one too where it doesn't need to take long, just 10 or 15 minutes spent outside really can provide you with very quick mental reset. Alright, but then another practice that I truly believe just makes such a difference to prioritize friendships. And strong, healthy relationships really are just so vital. They make the good times in life even sweeter, and in difficult times, the support and love of close family and friends can just make all the difference. But often, either when life gets busy or we experience major life changes, whether that's moving, having kids, getting married, or something else, it can be easy to become isolated. But I want to encourage you, even if you're busy, even if you have a lot going on, make the time. Build and invest in close relationships with friends and family that you can do life with and share in life's joys and struggles. Of course, if you're starting from scratch, relationships like these take time to nurture. But every beautiful friendship starts somewhere. So meet up with a friend for coffee before work, get lunch with someone, plan an activity, but begin to rekindle, to deepen, and to build on your relationships over time. And trust me, the investment that you make here is always going to be worth it. Then something kind of more fun that you can do to boost your mental well-being is just to find something to laugh at. Sometimes when we're feeling down, all we need is a little something to cheer us up. One of the quickest and easiest ways to accomplish this is just to find something to laugh at. You see, when we laugh, our bodies release endorphins, which just naturally help to cheer us up. So the next time you're needing just a little something to smile about, spend some time with a funny friend, watch a short comedy special, or even just watch a few cute videos online. When one of us isn't feeling great, Christopher and I will often send cute little animal videos to each other. There's nothing quite like one of those just to instantly put a smile on your face and maybe even get you to laugh out loud. Okay, but then on a bit more of a challenging note, something that I have benefited so much from is just forgiving freely. I feel like this one needs to come with a bit of a disclaimer. Small doesn't always mean easy. However, I truly believe that the art and the ability to forgive freely truly is one of the greatest secrets to healthy and lasting relationships. You see, the thing is, part of being human means that at some point you will be hurt by others, whether intentionally or not. We might not be able to control that, but what we can control is how we respond. Especially when it comes to someone who hurt us, holding on to bitterness, anger, and resentment just isn't worth it. In fact, it only continues our suffering, allowing that person to take up more mental and emotional headspace in our hearts and in our minds than they should. So by choosing to forgive, it really frees us from that and so often just feels like a massive weight off our shoulders. So whether the hurt that you experience is just the everyday variety that comes with being human, or it is something that's really difficult and painful, I think that there have all been moments and situations like that for us. I want to encourage you to forgive and just to release that bitterness, that anger, that resentment, and just to rest in the peace that comes from doing that. And there are just a couple more habits that I want to touch on, but a big one is to set yourself up for a good night's sleep. Just a few small shifts in your nightly routine can vastly improve both the quality and quantity of your sleep, which in turn can have a huge impact on your overall well-being. So if you're currently struggling a bit in the sleep department, a few habits that can make a big difference are: number one, just to make sure that you're going to bed at around the same time every night. Set a bedtime for yourself and always try to make sure that you're going to sleep within 1 to 2 hours of that bedtime. That's going to help your body naturally to establish rhythms of waking and resting. And something else you can do is to keep your room cool. It's been shown that the optimal sleep temperature is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So try setting your thermostat somewhere within that range to ensure a better night's rest. Then another big one is to make sure that you're not using your electronic devices right before bed. So turn off the TV, put away your phone, maybe try reading or having a tea, just something to wind down that allows you to be screen-free. And then finally, make sure to quit caffeine well before going to bed. I know that everyone's a bit different on how caffeine affects them, but personally, I find that I need to stop drinking caffeine at around 3 p.m. so that it doesn't affect my sleep. Those are just a few habits to keep in mind, but if you often find that you have difficulty either getting to or staying asleep at night, it's a great idea just to try putting some of those habits into practice to see if they might be able to improve your sleep. And finally, I want to end with a quick one, and this one is perhaps the easiest of them all, and that's just to take 5 deep breaths. And in moments where we're feeling stressed or anxious, we might not always have the time to go for a walk or to spend time alone and decompressing, but something that we all have the opportunity to do is to take time to breathe fully and deeply. This is one of those things that is so simple, but it can be a powerful tool in helping to reduce our heart rate and calm the fight or flight response in our brain that's often triggered in stressful moments. So whenever you feel the need to, if you ever feel pressure mounting, just take a moment, take a step back, and take 5 deep breaths. If you ever find that a bit hard to remember or hard to stick to, something simple you can do to help you focus and to provide sensory feedback is just to use your hand to keep track of those breaths. So as you breathe in, trace up one finger, and breathe out, trace down. Then just move on to the next finger, breathing in and out, in and out. And just trace through your entire hand, and I promise you, by the time you reach that last finger, you will be feeling just that much better. All right, well, those are some of my favorite things that you can do starting today to boost your mental health. But now I would love to know, what are some of the things that you like to do to feel better and to support your mental well-being? I would love to hear about them, so be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, friends, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'm wishing you all an incredible day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.